Okay, folks, I'd like to call a meeting to order here for Monday, March 4th, the Hammond Planning Board. We have the fire exits. You go out the door and you either go to the left or to the right. We have an AED out there in the hall if anybody needs it. Like everybody to turn off their cell phones or electrical devices for the duration of the meeting. And I'd like to have Cheryl call the roll call.
Sharon Steigerwald.
Here.
Steve Law.
Here.
Dave Martin.
Here.
James Nesbitt.
Here.
Ed Nelson.
Here.
Steve Hinton.
Okay, on planning board meeting minutes here for February 5th, any correction, addition, deletion, anyone? If not,
Make a motion to approve the February meeting minutes.
a second?
Sharon Steigerwald.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Steve and Sharon,
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave Martin.
yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Yes.
Steve Hinton.
Okay, first on the agenda here tonight is a special use permit for McKenna L. Smith, 240 Morton Road, for the special use permit for a dog grooming salon. Is anybody here to represent that? Okay, would you like to stand and give us a little information?
Sure. What kind of information can I give you?
Well, where you're located and what your business is gonna be doing, and how many animals, or what you're gonna be doing with the business.
Okay, so we're located at 240 Morton Road. It's a typical dog grooming salon. Right now I work for somebody else. I do about 4 dogs a day. It's one-on-one, so it's only one person in, one person out. Next person comes, next person goes. It's bathing, drying, hair cutting, nails, ear cleaning, just typical dog grooming.
Just dogs?
Yes, just dogs.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right. Anybody on the board, Sharon, any concern?
Just wondering about the parking, but if it's just one person in, one person out. What do you do with all the hair?
Oh, I use the shop vac for that.
So it's not going down the drain, you have septic there, or?
Yes. Septic. Nope, it doesn't go down in the drain. I use plugs in the tub too. Make sure that it doesn't go down the tub.
No concern.
Jim?
Well, it's this
I
side,
guess you would ask there.
yeah, this side's,
I have a couple questions for you. One is, so you're gonna replumb, do a bunch of plumbing, because there's no drain in that garage now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna plumb it all over to the septic system?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know if the septic system's gonna handle that kind of extra water? Because my concern is that the neighbor down the road has cows that drink out of the creek back there.
Oh, no, it won't be going in the creek. It's going to be going in the septic.
Okay. And then there's also, and this may be a question for you, I'm familiar with the property. And I know that the garage is actually on the neighbor's property a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how that affects things going forward.
Not really our issue.
We have to kind of redo that side of the garage for the most part anyway, so I don't plan to use his portion. We do have a boundary line agreement, but I don't plan to use that portion of it anyway.
Do you have a copy of that boundary line agreement that you could send to me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, you can email it to me, yeah, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Can I add something as well?
Mhm.
I also have, I don't know if you guys really need it, but I have my, professional certification for the filming, and I also have the CPR certification and pet first aid.
That would be good.
And you could email me those.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Steve? Anything? No, okay. JP, anything on that?
Not really, there's not really any traffic impact to speak of, the parking is ample on the existing driveway. shouldn't have just 4 dogs. I wouldn't think it's gonna make a big change in wastewater flow.
I was more concerned that it was gonna go down the drain and out into the creek, because I know some of the other houses there with their septic systems actually dumped into Gainey Creek and not had the additional line.
That happens.
Yeah. So being that the cows were drinking down the
Yeah.
way,
No, yeah, but no other injury.
Okay. Pete?
No concerns, it's type 2 action.
With that being said, we have a motion.
Make a motion for the application for Smith Mechanic 240 Morton Road, we have type 2 action under secret.
Second.
Okay. Call vote.
Do mine this time?
You do that first.
Yep.
Okay.
Secret first.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Harvey.
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Yes.
Steve Hitman.
I'll make a motion for the application of Smith Mechanic 240 Morton Road, special use permit dog grooming. It would be headed for public hearing, which would be April 1st.
April.
Not cool, right?
Pardon?
No. Go ahead.
Look, just like make a motion to send it to public hearing, April 1st.
Second.
Okay, Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin.
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Ed Nelson. Steve Hitman.
We will see you here the first of April.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's required by law that it goes to a public hearing.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is a conservation corridor development permit for the Rockport Yacht Club, 493 Sandy Harbor Drive. Someone here to,
Yes, Matt King. As an agent for the yacht club.
okay,
And so, what we're asking is for a maintenance dredging permit for Shandy Creek. This is kind of driven by, we just had it dredged by the state, as part of the Reading Project, 2021.
mhm,
And October of that year, by the next spring, it at least filled in over 4 feet. And we ended up having a shallow draft just in the following year. So that's kind of driven us to look at a maintenance permit to be able to do it based upon how much sand came in over the winter, what happens for weather over the summer, and the lake level. So we're looking to be able to do it ourselves. We've got a 5-year permit with the DEC. And we'll take it with a sand sucker, take it out of the creek, and then put it as beach nourishment on the east side of Morgan's Pier. And then natural wave action should take it onto the shore.
Janine, do you have anything to,
No, I looked at
Sure.
this, another member also of the conservation resident with me, actually last year, and we looked at it and indeed that was consistent, and it's basically the same thing again. And I see that they have a lot of their permits, and they have commissions from the surrounding neighbors, and, so, I don't have an issue with it.
this is something you do on an annual basis, or?
Yes, and we might even do it, because we bought our own equipment, we might actually do it multiple times a year based upon how the sandbars are.
Mhm.
And we will, whatever we estimate 1,300 yards, whatever we dredge, we will report to the DEC on an annual basis.
I do have one question for you.
Sure.
Does the DEC dictate or suggest when to do this or when not to do it?
Yes,
Fine.
we do have, do this line, we cannot dredge in May or June. That's the restrictions.
Okay.
Well, they got their Army Corps of Engineers permit and the DEC permit, so those are pretty big hurdles to get past. So if they're good with it, I don't have any additional information.
Pete?
No concerns, it's type 2.
Okay. Steve?
Does DEC come and check, and, you know, as far as depth, things like that, you know?
They did not require, like a resurvey of the channel each year. There's a quite a large, the state did that, but it's quite a large expense. They had an engineering firm in the sonar to do the sampling. So, as long as we, tell them how much we do each annually, keep track of what we're doing, and report it, that's a requirement.
Thank you.
Joe?
Well, as a longtime member of the Blackboard Yacht Club, I'm not sure I should be speaking for me. A little bit of background. Sandy Harbor has been classified as a harbor of refuge with a depth maintained 5 feet. That happened about the second time that we did the LWRP. And I was on that committee to do that, so I know how to place it. But this is good for the fishermen coming in and out that think the channel's wider than it is. This is good for everybody, and especially in the safety. And I am familiar with that type of equipment, and it actually just picks up sand. You use 2 pumps. One discharges underwater, flows the bottom. The other one sucks it. Yeah, probably if you have 3 or 4% sand, and the rest water. Just water goes back in the creek. But it won't pick up big rocks or anything like that. So it's the thing of the future, and I think it's a real asset for the community. But I'm a little partial to it.
How far up the channel will you go?
So we will, the south end is, out, let's say, past the end of our parking lot. So it's a ways down the creek, and then, the permit goes out into the lake where, the same distance that the state permit.
You won't go up as far as the boat launch.
No, we'll not go up to. And the reason, one of the key reasons for that is the silt material is different when you start getting up further up the creek. And so that has to have a different sampling protocols and different disposal protocols. So we're dredging this beach sand. It's 90% sand and gravel, and so that it's meant for the beach structure.
Steve? Okay, with that being said, need a motion here, 2 motions for approval.
I'll make a motion for a seeker type 2 action.
Second?
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Need a motion?
And then I need another motion that this is, okay, to resolve the planning board advise that it's type 2 action. Appears that the plan is to dredge the channel, place the spoil on the east side of the pier to replenish the beach. And we have to give you a definition. And that's pretty close, and, yeah, so I make a motion to approve that. And also, we were brought up a couple of months ago, for anything like this, I'd like it in the minutes, just to have. And we're at 245.08 was last week's.
Second?
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this is good for the 5 years?
I don't know, can we add, or, Keith?
It's a good question, I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
We'll have Cheryl get back to you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
I
I don't mind seeing you once a year, but, you know.
I think you can
Same
get
story.
started and look at it, and keep going a year and a half ahead, so that the DEC keeps up with it.
Yeah, well, we.
You've been down that road before.
Yeah, but right now, they've approved me through the December of 2028 for the DEC. Well, if we could match that, that'd be beneficial.
Check with Cheryl. Come in and check with Cheryl.
Will do.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is a property merge for Douglas Goff and Corey Carnes, 512 Walker Road and 1310 Walker Lake, Ontario Road.
Good evening.
This is a small bit of piece of property, 512 Walker Road on the north side of Walker Road, that's where the Glofs live. 1310, Walker Lake, Ontario Road on the east side, that's where the Carnes is homestead today. The Carnes' property, I've had a hand in subdividing that thing several times. The Gloff property was subdivided by another firm locally. And so what the Gloff's doing is he's buying a portion of the last re-subdivision I did for the Carneses. When they subdivided originally, they sold all the tillable land to a local farmer. And he retained the wooded area. The creek goes through there. And that wooded area was just north of the creek. Actually, they're riding dirt bikes and stuff out there. So the Gloff, next door neighbor, is buying that portion of the property from the Carneses. Whereby 1310 is going to shrink down to, I forget, 5 acres maybe, somewhere around that neighborhood. So, pretty straightforward. He's not planning on any development. Actually, hard to do that very well. Although the Trump store does go through there.
That's just north of the fire hall.
Yeah. The old railroad tracks go through there. The railroad tracks kind of bisect the Gloff property where that used to be. They since bought that railroad bed too, so it's all a contiguous piece of property. And this does touches the Carnes land. We'll just erase on that section between him and that piece of property.
Janine, any issues with the property?
No, I don't have any comments.
Okay. JP,
No engineering concerns.
Keith,
No concerns, it would be type 2.
Sharon?
Yeah, it's just like shape of it.
Well, I know the lines.
Yeah.
Very,
It was a treat to walk, trust me.
it's an interesting
It's
piece of
interesting
property.
shape
I definitely put a couple miles in on that one.
on that.
Just to stretch it away.
Steve,
No concern.
Jim,
Well, outside I would like more than one color. Outside of that, no concern.
okay, Ed, Steve? Okay, that being said, need a motion for approval.
I make a motion for the application of Walker, Carnes, 512 Walker Road, 1310 Walker Lake, Ontario Road, be a type 2 action.
Second?
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yeah.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Pittman.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the property merge, Douglas Goff, Corey Carnes, 512 Walker Road, 1310 Walker Lake, Ontario Road. Seeking property merge of 2 parcels into 1 parcel, tax account 022-002-002-08.11 and 022-04-002-41.1. These are in the RL and the RBL zoning districts. letter of intent, property merge application, site map has been provided. I have one quick question in regards to this. The two different zones,
Yeah, they're two different zones, one's in the RL and one's in the RVL.
so how does that, just out of curiosity, how does that work? Because they're two zones, but now it's merging into one property.
Zoning district lines can cut across a lot, development is not preferred, however, because it makes life more difficult to regular, town regular.
They could apply to have it put into all one zone if they wanted, correct?
They could, or the town could decide on its own motion to do that.
All right. Need a second.
Okay.
Sharon Spiderwall,
Yes.
Steve Block,
Yeah.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
James Nesbitt.
Yes.
Ed Nelson.
Yes.
Steve Hitman.
Thanks, I'll be back on the Mylar as soon as I get a deed of transfer.
Next is, property merge, Bayard and Gwendolyn Birch, 827 Walker Lake, Ontario Road.
Hi again. This property is on the corner of Church Road and North Lake Ontario Road, the northwest corner. The Birches own currently two separate lots of a two-lot subdivision. And corner lot is Darrell Kelly. Darrell used to own the two lots, sold them to the Birches and bought the corner lot. He's been there for a couple of years, realized that in doing so, he should have segregated a piece of portion of the property that kind of benefits the barn that's in behind his house. Although there's a ingress easement now, he wants to have retain ownership of that. Basically, it's a triangular shape that I'm showing on that. It's like really small, 3/10 of an acre maybe. But he's in agreements with the Birches to be able to do that as well. So he's just moving his lot a little bit bigger. And it only affects one of the two lots. It's the lot that's not developed, lot 2 of the original subdivision for the Birches. I forget the name of the subdivision. All three of them are in the subdivision. So we're just changing that lot line.
You got that one on lot B, or you've got that, red line coming down through, and then it's a black line here.
Yeah, the black line is the line that's proposed.
Okay.
And there should be a dash line in that corner there as well. So that's the corner that's kind of going away. Well, that's what we're trying to make go away.
Anything to the conservation?
No, we have no comments.
GP?
There's that frame building on lot A. Does that access off of Walker Lake and Church? It looks like these driveways butt together here.
They do. This can come off of Church Road, and it can come off of Walker Lake Ontario Road, because it does connect. There's a little bit of a bridge there.
So is there an easement we need to?
No, there's an easement already in play right here for ingress and egress that was filed when Darrell sold these two lots originally.
So they don't need anything between these?
Yeah.
The reason for the shape that's not exactly a triangle shape is that I was trying to make a setback for the existing frame building. It's tucked up into that small frame building in the corner. I was looking at the code and I had to have so many feet from it. And I told Darrell that we had to do that, and so that's why the shape is the way it is, instead of being just a triangle shape. Try to avoid the have to get a variance.
You okay with that, GP?
Yeah, they do have, lot A has that access off of Church Road to that building on the lot, so it's, the driveway encroaches a little bit, but it's just a gravel driveway. We do reshape it if they choose.
concerns.
Sure.
No concern.
Jim?
No, sir.
No. Steve? We need a motion for approval. Somebody like to make a motion?
We do secret yet?
Make a motion for the Birch 898 Church Road and 890 Church Road to be a type 2 action under secret.
Second.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Rock,
Yes.
Wade Martin,
Yes.
Jim Hassett,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the application of Bayer and Gwendolyn Birch, owners Bayer and Gwendolyn Birch, seeking property merge for property they own at tax count 014.04.001-006.12 and account number 014.04-001-008. They're selling their property to their neighbor. These properties in RDL zone. Following documents have been submitted: letter of intent, property merge application, and site plan.
Second.
Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Rock,
Yes.
Wade Martin,
Yes.
Jim Hassett,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Thanks again, and just like before, when I get a deed, we'll have a Mylar.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up on the agenda here is a single lot subdivision for JTP Lands LLC, 1665 Redmond Road.
Hey, my name is Nick Montanaro. I represent JDP Lands. This subdivision, originally the parcel was subdivided in 2001, I believe. It's 39 acres, one parcel. So at that same time, the house was built on the front along with a barn and some bunch of improvements. What we're requesting is that 5 acres be cut off of this 39 acres. And the remainder of the land, the 34 acres, will remain exactly the way it is. We're not proposing any new construction. We're meeting all of the zoning requirements. So it's basically just cutting off this 5 acres for a sale. I believe it's Mr. Brighton's cousin who's interested in purchasing this property. That's any questions.
Any,
No concerns, no comments.
JP?
Is creation of this little flagpole, do you know where the septic system is? So we're not creating a encroachment?
No, I'm sure not. This is the original subdivision map. And the septic system is shown kind of southwest of where the barn is. And we're well beyond that. The new.
Okay, yeah, so this is your new flag?
That's
So,
correct.
yeah. So something. Yeah, other than that, no.
Keith?
It does require a public hearing, but other than that, no concerns.
Sharon?
No concerns.
Steve?
No concern.
One little question, the land where it's gonna be subdivided. Okay, that is, where you gonna farm that?
I think, so,
You are gonna farm that, so you're gonna clear the land, you're gonna take down all the ash trees?
Well, yeah, if they don't come down before we get there, yeah.
Yeah.
Every windstorm, there's less and less, so. Yeah, but it butts up to existing property.
So what's up there, so it's just,
Yeah, the field is a little
yeah.
wider.
Ed? Steve? No. Okay, we need a motion.
Make a motion motion for the application of JDP Lands LLC, 1665 Redmond Road, to be a type 2 under secret.
Second.
Jim Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Pittman.
Make a motion to send the application to JDP Lands LLC, 1665 Redmond Road, to public hearing on April 1st.
Second.
Jim Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
Yes.
Steve Pittman.
Yes.
We'll see you next month.
Or April Fools, there won't be any.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Frank.
Anything from the conservation board you need?
It's got quiet out there, so.
Yeah.
if anything's happening,
No?
Nothing too new, we're exploring, finishing off some of the water districts in town. MLB's gonna do a study on that, see what we can qualify for as far as grants and stuff, so we're looking into that. We just passed, firefighter ambulance exemption for the, unmarried spouses as far as a tax exemption for them. And, that's about all I got.
Anything else?
No, as Phil mentioned, we're looking into filling in the last gaps in the water system, where there's no public water. And determining determining which areas that are left can be economic. And there's enough home density that will be able to allow. Sewer system along the lake, folks are slowly sure tying in on it. That's about all we got going.
How many areas of water?
Just a handful left, maybe maybe 8, 10. And some of them are gonna be just so low density that.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like 10 maybe, but a couple of them are.
Very, very low density.
Yeah.
They'd be very expensive. It's just scattered. Never panned out. Not heard. They asked us to do a 60% review a while back.
They've been calling me.
But I think Steve and I are gonna have to meet again with those folks because of the integration into the town of Hamlin. And the connections coming up, Moscow Road, Zigzag, to the county. So we gotta work that out. Work out just details, like who's gonna maintain what.
Keith, anything from your office?
Nothing new on the legal front, sir.
Okay, Cheryl, anything?
Well, everything's starting to pick up, we got a couple new ones going in, and everybody wants to build a barn. So, that's a good thing.
Okay. How's it, up here on the corner? Nothing else? Can't say.
It's obvious that there's no one there. If you drive by, it's obvious that it's been closed and being cleaned out.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say at the moment.
You can speak to the obvious.
Anybody else from the board?
Got just one little trivia. Jerry Nesbitt, who was the owner of the first solar panel, has been asked by a contractor if he had any interest in building another one at Jerry's property down on East Fork. Paul Rudd, Roosevelt, has been asked. I'd like some direction or guidance from the town board on how many of these we can have in the town. This is
Every farmer in town has been asked probably, I don't know,
8, 10 times.
Yeah.
a week, probably.
But if somebody comes in and asks for a permit, and we're here, we gotta have some up-to-date stuff, and just what the town wants to go. The question on how much energy you can put on the existing wires.
And that's, the last I had known, that the substation on 18 is full.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that National Grid would do a upgrade.
It'd be very pricey.
But I don't know.
Did it ever put any limit as far as acreage, percentage, anything like that?
Minimum
There
20
isn't
acres.
currently.
There's a minimum of 20 acres for a large scale.
No, but I mean total
Is there a
acreage through
No,
the
I'm
town.
saying, say there's 50,000 acres in the village, and we put a percentage on it. You don't-
There isn't currently. It's something that we're hoping to get through on the farmland protection plan. We're hoping to have that done by the end of this year. Get some clarification on that, and that's how that's one of the focuses that's gonna be in that plan.
I personally hate to drive around the roads and see these giant metal fields.
I don't understand why you got one panels are facing the south. No, the Redmond Road, they're all facing the west.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't make a corner, how did that happen? You know? Yeah,
I've seen the same thing.
and they've got artificial material in the chain link fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, relatively close to the road. Apparently, they've never heard of snow fences,
Mhm.
you know, because that's what you got, 6 foot high and it's solid.
Who's responsible for these things when their life cycle is up?
Everyone owns
Is it the homeowner is, or landowner is?
Well, they're all required to have a decommissioning bond posted, so that there's money set aside in a bond to decommission. Usually that's the solar developer posts that. And they're also supposed to be reviewed periodically, make sure the quantity is still, the dollar amount is still appropriate.
So when they sell it, does that bond stay in effect?
Yeah, it's supposed to stay with. And to answer Jim's first point, every one of these requires, if it's tied to the grid, it requires a point of connection, study to be done with the utility. And then the utility identifies if there's improvements needed, whether it's the distribution lines overhead or something at the
Yeah.
substation, any improvements are needed in order to allow.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is we're looking at this one lot. Yeah, it's creating construction miles away,
Mhm.
you know, and we're not looking at that. And I just, if it's in if the thing works for the farmers, like you think it will by the end of the year, at least it gives us some direction. It gives us a little something, some guidance. And I think that's it. And it's not just we're looking at these solar panels, but there's a lot of stuff coming up in the future.
Yeah.
There is a lot of stuff. They're burning battery storage buildings every day. And did you know an electric car can burn?
Yeah, forever.
But there's a lot going on, and I think it would be good if we could keep up to date on some of this stuff.
What's good about a solar farm is there's a beginning and an end to them. I mean, for everyone that's built, what JP was saying about decommissioning them, there is an end date to them as well. And it's usually about 30 years.
But that end date, then do they just take the panels off, put them in the panel on?
Be good.
That's to be seen.
That's what the contract is.
Because I've read areas, like California now, their life cycle on a lot of the ones they put in is at the end now, when they were forced to do it.
Right.
But when they get decommissioned, they're not allowed to dump any of that material in California.
No, they're not.
So it has to be dumped down to a neighboring state.
And that's some of the issue with these decommissioning plans.
Right.
It's assuming that it's all recyclable material,
Which is not.
and it's not.
you could put that into your wording when you, master plan,
It's part of the solar law too.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but you know, they can only,
A lot of them are 25, 30 years older than they were supposed to be.
Now, there's an escrow or something established, right, that the company deposited for the decommissioning? Or is it
well,
just-
It'd be a bond.
it's a bond.
It's a bond.
Yeah, I mean, the tricky thing is on these, the guidance we got from NYSERDA has one decommissioning of a 2.2 megawatt solar field where they have a baseline of estimated cost. And we haven't really seen any of these decommissioned yet, you know, any of the new ones, so. You know, whether that number from a Massachusetts 2 megawatt thing is accurate, we don't really know yet. It's just, they haven't gotten that old. And the other thing we're finding too is, it seems like every year when you've got a new iteration, the panels used to be 200 watt panels, and now they're all 400 watt panels, and now they have the tracker ones that follow the sun during the day, and so the efficiencies and things just keep going.
Seems like everything we know is based on the technology at the time.
All we can do.
That changes tomorrow.
The devil's in the details, and the details change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to keep this going, but maybe JP, you can answer this. What about the heat reflection off of these panels back into the sky?
DEC hasn't put out any guidance on
I mean, there's gotta be some, right? I mean, if they're building these huge mega things, you know, we're all talking about solar
it. Yeah.
heating and
But they, you know, they're gonna absorb heat too, you know, like a black roof absorbs.
or do they reflect back into the sky?
You know, they're aluminum frames and everything else.
Everything.
Yeah.
All these years, I thought you were the
No,
man.
no, but I have not seen any concern related to it.
Well, one of the good things, my thought of the good thing, the first one that went up was we put a height limit. And that puts it in, the thought was, want to make it no bigger than a mobile home.
They usually max out at about 12 feet in.
Yeah, and 12 feet is, and I think it makes a big difference. The one down on Redwood Road, you can see every panel in there when you go by, even though it's far back as it is.
I know one of the conversations we've had with the farmers and stuff in farmland plan, and that is trying to, one of the big issues that everybody complains about is taking up a whole piece of property. So if you got a 40-acre piece and then 20 acres, 25 acres in it, by the time you get your borders around it and everything, that takes up that whole 40-acre property. And I know there's been talk, and maybe this will come out of that farmland plan too, where we'll take some of them, the offsets back and put it in a corner of a property so that some of that can still be used for agriculture, or make them utilize the whole piece of the property. So your megawatts, you're maxing out what you can get out of that piece of property, as opposed to taking two pieces of property and getting the same megawatts, and then none of that's used for agriculture. So there's,
Yeah, but the trick is if it's an allowable use in certain zoning, the property owner has rights. And
That's right.
These farmers are, you know, finding it more profitable to have solar than it is to farm. So just,
So we all start.
it's just, you know, maybe there's a better way to utilize the piece of property to maximize what you're getting out of it. It's, we've had a lot of discussions about it. Hopefully we'll get some details.
Sure you did.
It's a hot topic. Yeah.
Well, Jared had, of course, he's cut it,
Yeah.
but he had ownership change before the first year, and Jared got the bill for the tax.
Well, I can just let you know, I'm on the steering committee for Monroe County. They're updating their farmland plan too. And we've had 2 meetings on the county level with Pat Gooch, the county planner. And the concerns that we have in the town of Hamlin, he's heard the exact same concerns in every town in Monroe County.
Yes.
You know, he said everything that you're talking about has been in discussion with every other town in Monroe County. And their part of that is hoping to come up maybe with a countywide plan, or, you know, kind of steer it also. That's,
These big mega projects with that, does anybody know, does the power stay local? Or is it all being shipped into the main grid?
Just goes on the grid.
Goes down the grid?
The one on Walker Lake, Ontario, built kind of in Hammond, but that power goes to Manitou Road, and Frisbee Hill Road, so a little bit down Manitou, south of Manitou.
It gets into that grid section to be used, or?
And it goes out-
Yeah, there's a substation over there.
That it takes the power from that one.
Nice if we could have our own electric.
It's called a candle.
That's huge.
Well, you know, there,
He didn't like,
that's where the fun is in center. There's a lot of changes going around, and there will be, and there'll be problems that we can't even dream of. Like electric cars, and you wear it out, and you put it in your lawn, and what do you do with it? You know, does it go to the junkyard, or is there gonna be a junkyard for electric cars? Yeah, and just, what do you do with it?
Somebody's on the top of the way to do with it.
Throw it in the lake.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion with you,
Okay.
second.
Or
Okay, Sharon Steigerwald,
Yes.
Steve Law,
Or,
Dave Martin.
Yes.
Tom Nesbitt.
Yes.
Ed Nelson,
yes.
Steve Peters. Okay, thank you, everybody.
See you next month.
Try that.
April 1st. April 1st.